Okay, unlike the sunken chested, knock-kneed, anally retentive geek, I'm going to do my own CD collection stuff. So they're not in alphabetical order. I'm not anal like that. First one is a Paul McCartney "Flowers in the Dirt" that somebody sent me a year ago. Here it is, Paul McCartney "Flowers in the Dirt." It's pretty good. Meh, McCartney or Fall. And here I have a really good CD by Ryan Adams called "Cold Roses." Some really good songs like "Magnolia Mountain," "Beautiful Sorta," "Meadow Lake Street" is awesome. "Cherry Lane," "How Do You Keep Love Alive" is a really good love song. Really good jacket. I kind of like the design. "Easy Plateau" is really good. "Cold Roses," pretty good stuff. You know, most people wouldn't think I would be a Ryan Adams fan because he's kind of a creep. But oh well. Creeps can make good songs. Just as they can run trivia pretty well. Here's another one that was made for me by somebody. And it's the Pretenders, "Learning to Crawl." I always wanted it because I always heard some of the songs when I was a wee little child. Practically in the womb. But I heard them after that, of course. I think the entire record is good. Pretenders are a solid band. Good stuff. This is a compilation. Oh no, this is Elvis Costello. It doesn't work. I don't know why I have it. I have a lot of Elvis Costello. This is a collection of Crowded House. Somebody sent me from 2019. I do have fans. It's kind of strange. This is another compilation, a Christmas gift from somebody that's a nerd. They sent me some songs, and you know, I really appreciated this because there's some pretty good, a few good songs on here. Like, yeah, I'm kind of looking here. Like the Ron Sexsmith song, "Is Anybody Going to San Antonio," which is, of course, a cover. Pretty good, some nice artwork. This person made it for me. Again, kind of nice. And the "Nothing on Me" by Keith Richards is a good song. Keith Richards is a pretty good vocalist for most people that don't know. "Remain in Lifeboat," -5, that's a good song. And "Archie Marry Me" by Alves is is a is a really incredible song. It is an incredible song. Other than that, meh, don't like it. Okay, I already went to that. Okay, this is Clem Snide. I have a ton of Clem Snide, also known as Eve Barzilay. This looks like a guy's wedding that I know. I don't know. I like the tuxes though. Clem Snide, "Your Favorite Music." The Dairy Queen is a great song. Messiah Complex Blues, Donna. That's of course a remake. Cover, of course. "I Love the Unknown" is a great song. Bread. "Exercise" is a good song. "African Friend" is a good song. General would like that song, "African Friend." This is a Neil and Tim Finn thing that somebody sent me. They're a real big fan of Crowded House and also Split Ends and any other iteration that those two guys were involved in. This is not very good, so I'm not going to recommend it. Okay, so now that I'm done with that stuff, I'll go to my top row, and after that I will be finished. First two are "Love Is Hell," a compilation by Ryan Adams. Both are very good, hold up. Some people might say kind of slutty, but I don't mind slutty if it sounds good, well produced. musicianship excellent. Some good songs. Here, this is a classic that most people are not aware of. Marvin Gaye's "Here, My Dear." It is a wonderful record. He made it for his wife as sort of a severance pay after the divorce, to settle the divorce. And all the money he made from this record, which didn't sell as well as his previous records, or the one that he made after this, that had sexual healing. But this is a great record. I mean, there are a lot of excellent songs. And really, is that enough? Is probably the hidden gem in all of it, because it's about the divorce and lawyers' fees and stuff. It's kind of bitter, and bitter sometimes sounds really good. This is another one by Ryan Adams, "Rock and Roll." It's a good record, but not as good as his other stuff. Okay, this is Sly and the Family Stone anthology. I love Sly Stone. I think he's a genius, brilliant, really underrated guy, artist. Everything on here is you can listen to. Put it on at a party, play it in the background. People love it. My dad was a big fan of Sly Stone. Saw him in New York City. Blah blah blah. So it's pretty neat. Okay, here's the Mother Lode, baby. This is a slutty 40th anniversary of Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. It's got a suede cover. Of course, there's a little mark there. I put a hot thing on there, and it actually burnt the fuzz on it. And it has the Pet Sounds, and it has a mono stereo CD, and it also has a DVD that you can play about the recording and stuff, which is kind of boring. It's really not interesting, as you would think it would be. Here's another great record, "Do You Like Rock Music" by British Sea Power. Pretty much every song on here is pretty good, except for maybe "The Great Skua," and that's it. It's a really good record. Holds up. I really recommend British Sea Power. They're a really great band. I'm not embarrassed to have this record. I like it. And it's going to be a groaner for some. Coldplay's "A Rush of Blood to the Head." I like this record, and I always will. I think "In My Place" is a great single. Scientist, Clocks, Green Eyes, Warning Sign, A Whisper, "A Rush of Blood to the Head," in Amsterdam. The last four songs that close off this record are wonderful. They're great. Okay, the next one is kind of the diametrically opposed to anything that Coldhead ever did, and that's a deluxe edition of "Eat a Peach" by the Allman Brothers. And the "Eat a Peach" record is beautiful, has great. All the songs are excellent. I really can't say anything bad about any of them. And this too is actually even more outstanding. I mean, you have a live concert from Fillmore East, which is legendary, and it's great stuff to listen to. Here's another one. This band, when they first came out, Source Tags and Codes was a great record. They also came out with this record called "Worlds Apart," and "You Will Know Us" by the Trail of the Dead. They're not punk or anything, but they're pretty rockin'. I mean, they also do slow songs too. And this record starts out great, and then it kind of gets into a funk, and it doesn't really come back. The best songs on "The Road to Isis," "Will You Smile Again," "The Rest Will Follow." "Caterwaul" is a great song. After that, no, nothing else. Okay, I gotta get this back in. That's what she said. Note that the other person didn't, when they made theirs, they didn't make jokes. I do. All right, this is another decline of British Sea Power, and this is their debut LP, and it is an outstanding record. Everything on here, I would highly recommend it to anyone. Here's another one of my faves, Arab Strap, a band out of the UK, kind of maudlin, all songs about drinking and stuff. This one's called "Monday at the Hug and Pint," and there are some really great songs on it. "You Fucking Little Bastards," the Week Never Starts Around Here. It's just a great record to listen to all the way through. It has a certain atmosphere to it. It's really seedy and pretty neat. I like it. Here's another one by Arab Strap called The Last Romance. And this is an uplifting record, despite some of the titles stink. There's No Hope for Us, Chat in Amsterdam, you know. There's some dark stuff in here, but There Is No Ending is really a life-affirming, beautiful song. And it's a classic, and it should be heard more by more people. I really recommend this record. Everything's pretty good on it. Arab Strap is a certain taste to it. Okay, this is Arctic Monkeys' favorite worst nightmare. This is a pretty good one. I think most of the songs on here are pretty good, but it's really adrenaline oriented. I mean, it's very, except for 505, which is a great song, which closes off the record. You know, if you want to put on the first 6 tracks and go on a jog or go work out, I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. Okay, this is a record by a band that was a shoot-off of the Libertines, headed up by Pete Doherty, called Baby Shambles. And the first record is Down in Albion. And this is a good record. I often listen to this. Fuck Forever is a great song. Ouroboros. 32nd of December is pretty good. Pipe Down. There's a really... Pentonville is sort of like a reggae type song. Pretty good. Albion is a great song. And Merry Go Round, to close it off, is a great song. So I recommend it highly. It's really good. This is a mini CD or a single CD. It's an EP, The Blinding. And again, this is by Baby Shambles. And The Blinding's a good song. I Wish, Sedative is a great song. It's not as good as Down in Albion. And finally, the last in the Baby Shambles canon is Shotter's Nation. And it has some good songs, but it's really not as good as Down in Albion. Okay, here's one by an obscure artist called Kelly Ali called Psychic Cat. And it's not a bad record. It's not a bad one. At the end of it, it's got a song that's tacked onto the end. And I'm not going to tell you the title because it's pretty neat. Most of these songs are pretty good. Kelly Ali was really underrated. She was a former lead singer of a band. God, what were they called? They did that song, Six Underground. If any of you can think of it. Oh, Sneaker Pumps. That's it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Some of the oldies that my older brother and people like. This is Big Star, #1 record in Radio City, their first 2 albums on 1 CD. And these are good records. I really can't get this to focus. But here we go with the cover showing them. And my manly fingers. My well-cut fingernails and my manly fingers. Feel Ballad of El Goodo, that's great. 13 is an awesome song. What's Going On is, everybody's heard that song because they use it on, Cheap Trick covered it. It became a song for a really bad TV show. And September Girls is an awesome song too. I'm in Love with a Girl is, of course, covered by the Seven Nation Army Band. Here's another big star. This is after one of their founding members left. Sister Lovers and Third. And it's another 2-album set, but it's all one. And it's not bad. There's some good songs on it, like Big Black Car. They did a cover of Femme Fatale. Holocaust is a good song. Kangaroo. And that's about it. And this is the one that a certain person and I share. It's called Gimme Fiction by Spoon. I love the cover. It's the only reason I bought it. And there's some really good songs on it. My favorite is Sister Jack, although most of these songs are great, but Sister Jack really stands out. It has sort of a funky kind of groove to it. And this is a record that I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent about buying it. It's the best of Blur. Blur was a pretty good band, and there are a lot of great songs that they did. But I think that they were more of an album band than most people realized. But if you buy this record, you're pretty much going to be listening to a lot of good songs. My favorites on this are Coffee and TV. Um, uh, This Is a Low is a great song. And To the End is a great song too. Okay, here's a guy that most people don't know about who's incredibly talented. And I can't believe that he's not a big star. His name is Brendan Benson, and this is his first LP called One Mississippi. And I would recommend it to anyone who loves good pop music that's well written. He's a great songwriter. The music's great. Everything is good on it. And every single song on here is just good. And like Cherries is such a beautiful song. I really can't recommend it enough. Okay, here we get into some more popular stuff. This is an EP. Belle and Sebastian present books. Trevor Horn did the production on this. You could tell because it's very lush. Your Cover's Blown though is one of the best songs that Belle and Sebastian ever did, and it leads off this EP. And then Wrapped Up in Books is a good song. Pretty much everything else is kind of whatever. And you can also play this as a video too. So this is a soundtrack that Belle and Sebastian did called Storytelling. And even though it's a soundtrack, there are some pretty good songs on it. And this is probably the least bought Belle and Sebastian record. But there are some good songs like Big John Shaft. Consuelo Leaving is pretty good. Black and White Unite is also another good song. The cover's pretty neat. It has nothing to do with the movie either. The cover, it's kind of funny. This is another late Belle and Sebastian record. Dear Catastrophe Waitress. It's not one of their best, but it's not bad. Some of the cover work is pretty cool. You Don't Send Me is a great song. If You Found Yourself Caught in Love is a wonderful song. Other than that, I mean, If She Wants Me, that's another one that's really good on here. That's about it. This is one of my favorite records. It's by Andrew Bird. It's called Andrew Bird's Bowl of Fire. It's called The Swimming Hour. And you can listen to this record all the way through, and it's just amazing. Two-Way Action, Corin Ryan, Why. 1111 is a great song. And then it kind of, the wheels fall off when it gets to After How Indiscreet, which is an incredible song. Dear Old Greenland is kind of like a toss-off song. Everything else is pretty good. I really recommend it. It's called The Swimming Hour by Andrew Bird's Bowl of Fire. And then, of course, he goes solo. And this is called, this record is called, what? It's called Armchair Apocrypha. And it is an outstanding record. Every single song on here is awesome. You probably heard some of these songs on commercials and because you never recognized it was him, they never announced it. But they were great pop songs. This is a soundtrack for a movie that Bjork did called Summer Songs. It's pretty good. I never listened to it though. I love Bjork, but I never really listened to this, and I should, because it's a lot better than you think. I've Seen It All is a really great song, and that's about it. But maybe if I gave it more of a chance, it would be, I'd like it more. This is another Vespertine by Bjork, and this is one of her best records. I mean, I love it. I can't listen to it enough. It's outstanding. And next up is another one by Bjork called, what the fuck is it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty good. I really never listened to it, so it doesn't really matter. And Yeah, Bjork. I like Bjork. This is Blur's. It was supposed to be their finale LP called Think Tank. Cover art done by Banksy, which is, of course, tacky, but whatever. And this is a really great record. Every song on it is good. The last song, Battery in Your Leg, is a really, really beautiful song. And it has some great guitar effects on it. I like this record. There's a Crazy Beat is a really awful song, and it really is a song that you want to skip if you ever listen to this, but everything else is pretty good. Battery in Your Leg, that's a great song. Okay, here's my Boards of Canada thing that I often quote. Music has the right to children, but I change it up and say, trivia has the right to a chat room or whatever. It doesn't matter what title these songs are. They're mostly not songs in the conventional sense. But it's a pretty good record. Okay, the next one is You Forget It in People by Broken Social Scene. Great record. Probably a classic. I highly recommend it. And then next up is another Broken Social Scene song, self-titled. And, it's a good one. The last song on this LP is really good. And it actually talks about anal sex, which is funny. Okay, here we go. This is a guilty pleasure. Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. I like the energy of this record and the crowd in the background and Johnny and his wife singing together. I'm really not a big fan of Johnny Cash. I thought he was a hypocrite and all that other stuff. But you can't deny that this is a great performance. There's some really good songs. He does some gospel stuff, classics like I Got Stripes and stuff, which is great. Cocaine Blues. And, of course, the title, the title track. Awesome stuff. This is a record that's really good. You Are Free by Cat Power. Every song on it is excellent. It's kind of it's not a relaxing record, but it's not exactly a rocker. It's something I would play if you want to ever impress a woman, which many of you never would have the chance to do, but some of you, if you ever would like to play it, they would really like it. This is another Clem Snide record called The End of Love, and it is excellent. When We Become is probably one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. His records often have songs about God and about being a Jew, and he also mentions Jesus too. And they're good songs, though. And it's just an interesting thing, and they're not as spiritual as you think they would be. They're more about moral and social issues. Okay, this is Clem Snide's Soft Spot, which is it's a love album. It's about having a baby and a wife, and it's a really beautiful record. And there's some really incredible songs like Fontanelle, Happy Birthday, There Is Nothing. All Green is pretty much a tribute to Al Green. And the opener, Forever Now and Then, is a beautiful song too. Close the Door is beautiful. This is a really beautiful record. I would recommend it to anyone who likes really good adult love songs. And also songs about being a husband or wife, marriage, and children. It's really just an incredible record. It's that good. And next up is an album, again, that I would always love. And I'm not ashamed to say it. It's Coldplay's Parachutes. And I like it. Every song on it is good. Now, some people might not like these songs. The worst song on this record is Yellow. And Yellow is a single, and I don't really like the song that much, but it's a good record. And it's Parachutes. And I'd recommend it to anyone. Just give it a listen all the way through. You're not going to skip. You might skip Yellow because they killed it. And it's really not that good of a single. This is a record by a guy I really like, Jason Collette. He was part of a Broken Social Scene, then he went solo. This is called Idols of Exile, and this is an excellent record. Really dark, really, Modi, sort of like if Rambo ever made a record, it would be this one. It's pretty good. Here's his second record, which has a different feel to it. It's called Here's to Being Here. And even though there are some songs, he tends to be more, even though Roll on Oblivion opens it up, and Sorry Lori, Out of Time, it's a little bit more upbeat, which isn't saying much, but there's some really good songs on here. Roll on Oblivion is a really great song, and so is Paper Cut Hearts. And Not Over You is just a beautiful song. And Somehow is too. Okay, now we're going to get into some Elvis Costello. This year's model. This is a Ryko reissue double, and I'm glad I got it because the bonus disc is just as good as the, almost as good as the original album, and it's a great one. I really don't need to, talk too much about this record because it's really good. Here's another one, Armed Forces. Got the old cover on it. Love it. It's a great record. The extended play set is really great too. I highly recommend it. And here's another one of my favorite records, Cass McComb's Catacombs. And it's a great record. It has Dreams Come True Girl and Harmonia and You Saved My Life, which is a beautiful love song. Don't Vote. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. This is a country album that Elvis Costello did called Almost Blue. I really don't like it much. I love country music. I love Elvis Costello, but somehow this album does not make it. It just doesn't sound right. This is probably one of Elvis Costello's best records, King of America. Every song on here is great. The bonus disc has a lot of odds and ends, not really that good. They're demos and some of them, and there's some live stuff too, which I really not into. But the entire album is just a beautiful album. Even for people who don't like Elvis Costello, they would like this. This is the record he did right after King of America called Blood and Chocolate, and it's another excellent record. A lot of good rockers. Not as much of a country feel, more of a rock and roll feel. There's a creepy song on here called I Want You that is pretty dark about how this guy wants a girl, and it's pretty, whatever. This is Elvis Costello's Mighty Like a Rose. This is a gem. I mean, this is a great record. Every song on it is excellent. The album art is great. It's pretty good. Songwriting is excellent. Production is top notch. It's known for having, I think, what's it called? No, good, that's not on here. I was going to say Veronica, but it's not on here. But it has some really good songs, like All Grown Up, which other people have covered. Harpy's Bazaar is a beautiful song. After the Fall, So Like Candy. Great stuff. And that's it for today. I'm glad I made this one. And I will be back with another row.